Okay, so this next one is the one that we are actually going to talk about, individual aspects of each canvas, the different images, text, that kind of stuff. So here we go. All right, let's go back into full screen. So now that we've done this page view where you have all of this page information, we have this canvas view where we've done the canvas information. Now we're going to talk about the individual parts of each canvas. So first thing we're going to talk about is images. And this, in order to replace an image, it's actually really easy. Once you have one on your site, and remember, we can do that by going to the media gallery and clicking on an image and adding it to the page. There you go. So here is your image, and you can, shape it and size it however you'd like. It automatically zooms in stuff. You can actually resize to aspect ratio. Let's see, let's go like this. Oops. Okay, so I totally chopped it. We can resize it to aspect ratio, which makes it, that big. You can also shift and do this, and that will keep the proportions. Or if you don't shift, then here you can do it all kinds of different ways. So anyway, so there is your image. An easy way to replace an image is to actually click on it and then click up to this top one right here, and you can select this image. We will do that, and there you go. So the same proportions, you don't have to add a new image back to it. It'll also change the image on the mobile site. See here, it's different now. So very handy way to switch out images easily. I'm just gonna Control Z, and there we go, now it's back to how it was. So images, so we have that. We can, again, resize to aspect ratio. We want our SEO title. Every image should have a SEO title. Typically, you actually want it to have spaces and capitalizations. So that's something to do. And then you can also do a description in each of them. Again, description, so titles should be in title format. Description should be in description format. So this would be something like, bridal photography where the, I don't know, maybe like Sarah and Austin's wedding in Austin, Texas. Yeah, that's probably fine. Something like that. So you can have a description for each, and that's a good way to boost SEO. So if you do, I know Jessica, you're in particular watching this, if you want to continue with that, you can absolutely do that, and that would be a good way to help along with SEO. So what you can also do is you can actually fill, contain, stretch, or scale. I don't ever contain and I don't ever stretch, but scaling and filling are things that I do. So fill is kind of the most natural one, and it's the default. You can scale it. So if we wanted to really zoom in on the bride in this one, we could scale it to 300, and then we can change this so that it goes over to one side or the other, or partway through, here's 20%. So anyway, you can do it that way. You can also do it this way. You can go all the way at the bottom, all the way at the top, somewhere in the middle. So there's some fun things that you can do if you want to focus on something different in that photo. So maybe in this one you want to focus on the bouquet, you can scale and adjust it accordingly. In this, you can also, even if you just have it as fill, you can also change the position. So if I want it to be, slightly more to the right or left, I can do that here as well. It won't scale it, but it is just, an option. If you want, again, whatever your focal point is, you can do it that way. Let's see, what else with images? Size and position. And so size and position is the same for every aspect. You'll see, text has size and position. This rectangle has size and position. This is also a rectangle. These two are both rectangles. Have size and position. Everything has size and position. And so this helps with your, so your width and height are obviously the width and the height of the thing. For this one, this is a rectangle. It has a width, but it only has a height of 1 pixel. You can also do a rotate. So we could rotate it 10 degrees or 100 degrees. So it's kind of fun. That's fun with text. So like, I mean, if you have kind of a funky website, you can rotate things so that it's more like interactive and that kind of stuff. Again, with a traditional website like this, you probably wouldn't ever use that, but just something to think about. And you can also adjust it this way too. And you'll see it rotates. The degree has changed. X and Y are where they are at on the screen. So if I wanted this to be farther away from this left border, I would go like that. If I want it to be farther down the screen, then I can go like that. And that's like way far down the screen. That's 1,000. There we go. If I want it to be right at the top of the canvas, then that is 0. And if I want it to be right at the left edge of the screen, then that is 0. So just undo all of this. There you go. So that's the same for all of the elements. Click actions are also the same. So again, I mentioned in one of the past videos, icons are just, you can do click icons for, or sorry, icons are just literally just like little images. They are very small in size, so they load really fast versus images that will take a while to load. But you can have anything click. I can have this click, I can have this rectangle click, I can have the image click. Anything can click in Showit, which is really cool. So if I wanted, maybe I wanted this picture, or I'll go back, let's go to the home page. So these pictures, this is a great example. This picture actually clicks to, so we're in the click action, it clicks to the page about, our about page, and it actually clicks to a very specific part of the about page. It clicks to the family experience slug. So I'll show you what this looks like. If I just go here to experience, it is going to take me to the about page. However, if I go back home and click on this picture, it takes me to that same page, but it takes me to this particular canvas on this page. So, so yeah, just kind of a cool extra little click action that you can do. So that is a canvas slug. And then you can also do a canvas view. So if we had those testimonials in the last video, if you watched the last video, we had this testimonial page which has different views. If I want to click, if I want, maybe this is like, see Andrew's review. I could have it click down to this, on this page. It could be this canvas, the testimonials canvas, and it could be at view 2. So how I would do that, I would click on this image, say it would actually be canvas, it would be the testimonials canvas, and it would be click on view 2. And there you go. And then it scrolls to the canvas. You can have this check or uncheck. You can reverse the direction, which transition directions, again, we'll talk about that in a second, but I don't typically use those. You can also have it submit a contact form, which we will maybe go into later. Showit also has a really good video for that. So we don't want to do that. So let's go back to have it, yeah, right there. Okay, so that's click actions. Again, literally, this can be done to anything on Showit. The family, this link also goes to that same thing. This is the same thing, page about, wedding experience. Yeah, this is all, everything here can click. What's kind of cool is that say you want, here, I'll show you something fun, you guys. Okay, so I have this rectangle here, and it covers the whole picture. I'm going to make it background color. Oh, it's going to be buggy. Okay, there's background color, and we're going to have it transparent. It's going to be 0. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to do hover, custom, and we're going to do opacity. It's going to be like, we'll say 40. Okay, let's see if I did this right. Oh, and then we have to do click action. So the click action is going to go to the page, about page, at the family experience slug. Okay, so here we go. Okay, as far as we can tell, there is nothing here, right? It's just image and what's that? Oh my gosh, the rectangle. Kind of cool, right? So we have this kind of fading in or fading out thing that's kind of neat. So, and that is just used by, and again, you can click on the rectangle, and that's the hover effects. You can also do the same thing. So I'm actually just deleting that rectangle right now. You can do the same thing actually by having hover and custom, and you can change the opacity to 60. So it would do essentially the same exact thing in this situation. If we wanted to bring that rectangle back, maybe we want this rectangle to hover at a different color. So let's see what this one looks like. And we'll change the opacity to a little bit darker too, because it's kind of hard to see. So here we go. So now, oh, there you go. It hovers as blue. So just kind of cool hover effect. You can change how long it takes to fade in. Look at this. You can change, there's a border size, there's, do you want the border to be transparent or whatever. Yeah, that's about most of it. I'll show you guys this one. This is kind of, so this is the different time, how long it takes to transition in. So there you go, 3, and there's 3 seconds versus the quick fade in that we had before. Okay, so I'm going to delete that rectangle because we don't need it, but just kind of a fun thing to do. You can, again, do all kinds of hover actions with all kinds of different things. With images, it only allows you to do different opacity, and again, the time, so you could have it do that 3-second fade in or fade out. Yeah, and you can have it so that the image, maybe the image starts off as, let's see, where is this? Just to have it right here. Well, they might have changed this. They must have changed it. Well, anyway, you used to be able, I think you used to be able to do it reverse, where you could have had it fade and then had it kind of bloom in, but I don't know. Anyway, okay, so that's something that you can play with the hover. The other thing is transition. So if I wanted this to fade in, I'll show you what that looks like. We'll make it so that it's long enough that you can actually tell that it's fading in. So this is what this looks like. This one I like to use occasionally. Let's see if it'll load. Internet's being slow. Oops. Okay, let's try that again. There you go. So see how that faded in? And then it's buggy at the end. My internet isn't fast enough for this right now, you guys. There you go. See? Okay, so that faded in, whereas this one was just there. So you can do stuff like that. And that is within the transitions. So again, you'll see that there's the transition, there's this page transitions or page, oh, I guess it's animations. There's also the canvas transitions right here. And there is also the image transitions, or you can do the same thing with fonts or, with text, all of that kind of stuff. Let's go back to the home, make sure we didn't save that. None. Here is an example of a transition. This is our website. And so you'll see these things slide in. You can have things slide in from the sides. There they go again. You can have things fade in. That one just faded in. Anyway, so there's lots of stuff that you can do with the transitions. You can have things like flip in and all kinds of stuff. I suggest not doing too much. It gets a little busy and kind of crazy if you do too much, but it is something you can do. Hover, we already talked about. This is different per different thing, but we'll go over that in a little bit. And then effects. So if you're doing photos, for instance, this testimonials, this is actually an effect. It is the rounded corners. You can also do it square, or kind of that, soft-edged square or circle. And with the soft-edged square, you can kind of, you can make it a circle. You can do mostly, kind of mid circle or square. You can also do, 10%. So You can play around with that. We'll keep it a circle. And, oh, here we go. Okay, so this is where the image opacity is. So what you could do is you could start with this, and then you could hover and do a custom hover where the opacity is 100. So we're not going to do that, but just something to, there you go. Something to note. Okay, so that's pretty much all of it for the images that you can do with the images. There's the rectangle, which is a shape style. This one you'll have, so the color for this one, it's transparent, and then we just have a really slim 1 pixel border. Again, you can also do the size and position, is the same thing as the images. You can have locking. So this is actually something that we didn't talk about with the images. Size and position, you have all of these things, but then you also have centering. So you can center this image in the middle of the canvas, which would look like, okay, it's already centered. So there you go. Look like just like that. You can also center it this way. And something you can also do is you can lock it. So for instance, let's see. So this one down here, this is an image. It's also an overlay. So we have this photo overlay, which shows, you know, it's kind of a pink overlay. And then we also have this background, or this photo that I'm calling the background photo. It's not actually a background photo. It's just the width of the canvas, the height of the canvas, and it is all the way up against the top of the top of the screen and also to the left of the screen. So it's just positioned in a way. It's also completely centered in the canvas. And what I did is I have stretched it so that it will fill up the entire screen no matter how big the screen is. So I'll show you what this looks like. If we don't select that, and then we preview. See what it does is it doesn't reach all the way to the edges of the frame. Versus if we do this, then it will go all the way across the frame. These other ones are kind of the same-ish. They will see where the item ends. Okay, so here, see, now it's stretched all the way across. For this one, what happens is it will take where the image or the item is on the side. So for instance, this rectangle, it'll take this side and then it will stretch it to the appropriate amount to this side, no matter how big the screen is. Anyway, these are some things that you can play around with. This one is kind of just a sticky to the side. And we use this in the footer. See, so this will always be, no matter how big or small the screen is, it will always stay on that side. It will stay right up against the side of the screen. So you'll see here, there's more space than it looks like in the actual Showit thing. It's because this bar, this logo, these social media icons, and this bar are all sticky to that left side of the frame. Same with this. So anyway, those are horizontal locking. And then let's go back to here, make sure we didn't screw anything up here. And okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so we're back to the rectangles. So rectangles, we have shape and style, we have size, we have click actions, transitions, hover effects, all the same stuff. Again, this one can also, just like the photo can be a circle, so can rectangles. So you can just barely see it behind this photo, but they can also, you know, the edges can be softened or circle. And that's about it. So for those rectangles. Lastly, the text, we have text style. So we looked at this a little bit before. These are just, again, if you want your text to be custom, then just note that if you change them in the design settings, if you change like all of the subheading stuff in the design settings, then your settings that you customized will not change with them. So just something to make sure that you're aware of. Otherwise, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. There's line height, there's letter spacing, letter case, align center, overflow. Oh, so the overflow display. So this was, again, most used in the blog, which we can talk about later, but just something to, you know, yeah, mostly for the blog. probably don't have to worry about that too much elsewhere. Inline links. So this would be if we double click on this text and I want just family to be linked, I can actually do that. I can also bold it or italicize it. This is actually a relatively new feature in Showit. Right now, since this is actually clickable, I can't actually do this. But if I wanted to go, say, down to here, and I wanted to hyperlink North Austin, I could do that. And I could type in my URL or page name or whatever the case may be. We'll just say page for right now, just so that it shows something. And you'll see that now this has an underline. If we go to the text, we can actually change it so that it is a different color. We can change it so that it's a different opacity. So there's stuff we can do, and then we can underline or no underline. So anyway, just something cool that you can do. Again, you actually have to double click and get into that, and yeah, or no, there we go. So yeah, just something you can do with text. That is also a new thing that they have just recently come out with, is the inline links. Text property. So this is something that you want to be aware of for your SEO purposes. Your text properties should have, even if, like, say this one. So this font that we use is actually a text style. It's actually a heading text. But for SEO purposes, I don't actually want it to be a heading. I don't want Google to read that as a heading. I want them to actually read it as a paragraph. So what you do is you just text tag it paragraph. Just a little SEO stuff. And then you can also do this with a text form. So we'll talk about that in the contact form one. We can talk about that later. Or Showit has a really good video on how to do that anyway too. So size and position, again, totally the same. You can do all the same locking things. Click actions, again, the same. Transitions, hover, effects, all the same stuff. So pretty much the only things that will change in each little thing are the, the first one or two things up here. I think that's about all of the stuff. Embed code, icon, rectangle, all of that stuff can pretty much do the same stuff. Video gallery, they all have the effects that you can do. They can all click to different things. Embed code, the only difference there we've already talked about is just enter your custom code. Video we kind of already did too. So yeah, that is about it for the individual properties on a particular canvas.